G'day punters, welcome to the Sydney preview show. We've got the Villiers coming up this weekend at Randwick, but we're also going to cram in a few races around the country after the Sydney show, and we'll try and preview a few of the get out stakes that you might come into contact with on Saturday. It's a pretty hefty meeting at Randwick, 10 races, dual highway, and we've got the Group 2 Villiers as well as the Christmas Cup and the Razor Sharp. Mark Shean, first inspection, what did you think of the card there?
Well, look to be plenty of chances in most races, boys. So hopefully we'll try and find a winner along the way. But yeah, two highways to kick the day off. So I won't be starting till race 3, I can assure you.
Okay, that sounds promising then for the first couple of races. Randwick rail back in the true. Forecast-wise, there's a little bit of rain around the next few days, but it doesn't look too bad, does it?
No, actually the forecast has improved. From the original one, it looked like they might get up to 10 mils over the couple of days, but that's been wound back to a maximum of about 2. So, if anything, that'll just save them watering, if that forecast is correct. The other thing of interest in the weather was the reasonably fresh east-southeasterly, which traditionally meant on pace, but I'm not going to get too worked up about that because I've been finding at Randwick of late the traditional sort of patterns that you expect from the different wind directions haven't really been panning out that way, so I'm just going to approach it as reasonably fair.
Okay. We also got a question from Ryan Ingram regarding Overlord. Will he finally break through on Friday night at Canterbury? Mark Shean, have you had a look at the race, and are you giving Overlord any chance there?
I've had a quick look at the meeting, but haven't done it fully yet. Look, I'd want to see him do it first. I think he's been gelded. They rode the brains out of him to get up outside the lead in a trial the other day to get his mind on the job. He did come away and win convincingly, but I think Chris Waller's got 5 in that race. He'll probably scratch another 3 out of it. That's his normal pattern, so I don't know what will be left in the race. I couldn't back Overlord. If it wins, it wins.
Okay, very good. Mark Rhoden, you got any comment to add on the now gelding?
No, I haven't done the race either. We've got a bit on this week, as you know, but he didn't really strike me as a Canterbury horse, is one thing I'll say about Overlord. So, yeah, I'll get to that in due course, but not one I'm desperate to find.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. We're going to preview races 7 through 10. The Quaddie legs will start with the Razor Sharp, which is the listed race over the 1200. It's basically pretty close to dual favourites at the moment with a Theory and Snitz, as Space Boy Southern Lad are next in line. Mark Shean, I'll start with yourself. Race 7 to kick us off, the Randwick Quaddie.
Yeah, I'm scratching my head why Snitz is so short. I don't know whether I'm missing something here. It was disappointing in the Ramornie, and he did get held up for a run there the other day. In fact, he was slightly checked on both occasions at his last 2 runs and just folded up very quickly. So I couldn't possibly have it at the price. I might be wrong. I'm going with a Theory, who's been freshened up here. Got 2 wins at Randwick, ran 1.82 there one day, and then backed up off that peak to still win and run about a 1.9 at its next win. The run after that probably had enough, but had to freshen up. Back to the trials, got no weight on its back, stack of speed in the race with Space Boy, and also there's a bit of speed there. What's the other one in the race? It'll run along Easy Eddie, so I think it'll be run to suit. So I'm with a Theory, and I've got Southern Lad in for second. I think he'll sprint well fresh, so 7 from 6 for me. Couldn't have Snitz at the price.
Okay. Mark Rhoden, who have you got rated on top at this current stage?
I've gone with a Theory as well. Yeah, I've got Snitz double figures, personally. I had something on him first up, and while he was slightly held up, he didn't finish off at all.
Yeah.
I'd need to see him show something before I was considering backing him again. A Theory, for the reasons mentioned, little freshen up, drier track, nice trial. Probably gets 1-1 or something here, I think, or maybe 1-2, 1 out, 2 back, but looks clear top pick to me. I'm probably going to back Space Boy. If Easy Eddie decides to sit off Space Boy, he might get a reasonable lead. 1200's going to be the worry, obviously, but
yep.
Because other than the Theory, I'm sort of scratching my head a bit. In and Up is going really well, but maps pretty poorly by the look of it. And then I'm out to things like Passage of Time. It's probably be off midfield again, but was very good first up. So I've just made it a Theory and saves Space Boy.
Okay. Promising start to the quaddie then. And race 8 is the feature on the card, the Villiers Stakes over 1600, the Group 2. In terms of the markets coming up now, we've currently got Creaderis and Through the Cracks rated as joint favourites around that $5.50 mark, best available across the corporates. Mark Shean, the Group 2. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a vintage edition of the Villiers, would you?
No, I have seen better Villiers, but anyway, they're the cards we're dealt. I'm scratching my head with Creaderis here a little bit. I thought his trial at Newcastle was very sluggish, to say the least. Sectional times out of the trial were horrific. They put blinkers on him, like he couldn't keep up against Casino Mondial, who's a Taree horse. He's had 6 weeks off. I'm not sure where he fits into this race. He'll be last, unless the blinkers he finds 6 or 7 lengths. I can't back him. I found Sambro. I don't know if I've had a dream. I thought he was very good at Rosehill. He was narrowly beaten in this race last year. He hasn't won over the mile at Randwick, but he should have won the Carbine Club as a 3-year-old. And he's run some good races at a mile at Randwick in the past. And I think from barrier number 1, with 2 kilos less than he had last year, I think at around the $13 or $14 mark, he represents good value on an each-way basis. Graceful Glamour was She Might Roll what they want to do with Fun Fact. I thought Faistos might be a little bit better outside of horses. He was just jammed up inside a horse up the straight the other day, and I'm not sure that he fancies that. So I'm going 8 from 6 and betting around the favourites. I don't like Outrageous and I don't like Creaderis.
Outstanding. Like it. Bit of value there. Mark Rhoden, how do you find the Villiers?
Yeah, there's 4 I'm interested in. In order, they are Through the Cracks, Graceful Glamour, Faistos, and Sambro. So I'm with you on Sambro to some extent. Just like I thought Through the Cracks was totally unsuited the other day. Hopefully, I know he looks one-dimensional. But with the jockey change in gate 7, pair or 2 closer, and on a track that might be more conducive to running on than Rosehill was the other day, I think he can improve and just about win. $5 isn't, screaming value or anything, but could get better on the day. The 3 I want to make at least chop-outs for me, if not winners, Graceful Glamour, who she does sometimes struggle to back up those through-the-roof performances, which is a worry, but at around $9.50, $10, I think we can take the risk because she is as long as the rain doesn't come, I should point out, she's an out-and-out dry tracker. If Fun Fact wants to hand up to her and she's got her firm surface and she gets into her rhythm again, then yeah, you'd be filthy if she arrived at double-figure odds without you. Faistos 34 days off before last time, probably set to peak here, and yes, perhaps a more suitable barrier for him. And Sambro, don't like the jockey change, I'm sure no one does, but at $19, like the way he closed off last time, and happy to take the punt.
We're getting the price to find out with Glenn, aren't you?
Right.
He's had 96 starts this season for 6 wins. I guess
that's 16 to 1. So
well, that's it.
He rated win a Wednesday.
In 4. He's in 4.
Mind you, the last 12 months he's ridden 17 winners, so 6 of those have come this season. So it's getting there. Race 9, benchmark 88 handicap, 1600 metres. We've got Spirit Ridge as the current favourite from New Arrangement. Regal Stage is next in the market. Mark Shean, in terms of race 9, I had most of the speed drawn out mid to wide. Is that the way that you saw it here?
Yeah, I think Regal Stage from barrier 12 will have the foot down early. He led all the way at his last 2 starts, so I'd expect him to go forward. Missy Beale probably from the outside barrier rolls forward as well, and Mushareb, if it jumps, likes to get up there as well. I did find this a bit of a hard race. Blinkers go on Spirit Ridge here, which may improve the horse. I'm a little bit doubtful about the format of that race he ran in at Newcastle, but he was first up over 1600 metres, and the addition of the blinkers might help. I've come back to New Arrangement and Kerwin's Lane, looking for the ones with no weight on their back here that are drawn all right. So I'm 16 New Arrangement on top, might be a non-winner, but I just didn't think he had a great deal of luck last start. I'll put him on top. I think Kerwin's Lane back to a mile will be a much better setup for him from barrier 1. And Spirit Ridge, if he gets out a little bit more in the market, for a chop out, but I'm not really keen on the race.
Okay. Mark Rhoden, is that for it?
This time we might wait, and not favourite. I've got him favourite, so I'll have to be on him if the market stays the way it does. I do have Spirit Ridge second pick with the blinkers on, although I have been pretty kind to him, and I haven't even got him favourite, so I'm not falling over myself to be on him. He would need to drift. At Regal Stage, flying in those country cups, probably gets the lead again, but not a bet for me at his current odds. Matawi, runners on might get their chance on Saturday, but he's going to have a lot of work to do from where he's going to get to, and Kerwin's Lane back to the mile. So that'd be my top five, but I not a good thing, but I'm reasonably happy to be on new arrangement.
Okay. That brings us to the last race, 10, 1400 metre benchmark 78. Now, in terms of the market, Snowfire is currently the favourite around that $5 mark, with Promotions, Night of Power, and He's a Hot Shot all at $7.50. Now, Mark Shean, I found it difficult to stamp an out-and-out leader in this event. I know Dylan's Romance does tend to lead, but that's typically over a little bit further than 1400. Who do you find leading this brigade?
Well, I think Snowfire, if he jumps, can lead. He led two of his last three runs, and the only time he was off the speed was his last run, where he dwelt slightly, but he was massively worked up in the enclosure before the race. He sweated something unbelievable, and I've got to say, looking at him before the race, he had none, but he still managed to get up and win. So if he can improve off that and roll forward and get control, look, he's won 3 straight, and I think he'll make it 4 straight if he turns up in a better frame of mind. He was still able to play up and win the other day. Admittedly, got a good run off the speed when they spread out, but I thought he did a great job to win considering the way he looked, and I think he's only got upside. I think Juventus is an improver here, getting up to 1400 metres. Just found it a bit short last start, and he's got a much better record around this 1500 metre mark. So I've gone 6 from 4. Night of Power's in at Canterbury as well. It was a good run. First start as a gelding. He's in the mix as well. I don't know if he'll go to Canterbury or to Randwick.
And Mark Rhoden, Night of Power was a horse that you had some time for in one of the previous review shows, from memory, from Kembla.
Yeah.
You would prefer to see him at Randwick, I would imagine, over Canterbury?
Yes, but mainly because he's going to make the market for Snowfire.
Yeah.
I'm pretty keen on Snowfire too.
Yeah.
This is the thing Nash was on. Greek Hero should have won that race at Kembla. The rest of them are just horses, I think, really. Night of Powers, but more a midweek horse, I think. Snowfire is the only horse in this field, I think, with pretensions to going on to better class than the 78s and so on. I think he's going places. I can tell you why I won it first up. It's because I was on Ramstein. I made an absolute moral of it, but I'll put that to one side. I'm not holding that against him. I think he is definitely the improver in this race, and if he jumps and gets a good run on the speed, that could be the last I see of him. Juventus, I actually mentioned it in a review show after its first up run at Kembla, because it got out to about 50 to 1 that day and really ran a lot better than its price. Drawn for a soft run in 1400, yes, have to be saving on it, but that's about where it ends for me. I've got Night of Power about $9, so I don't want to be on him. Promotions, barrier 15, no thanks. Snowfire, save Juventus, pretty straightforward for me.
All right, sounds good. Might be one of those where you're back at 9 a.m. and then double up or triple up. Rob finds it late in the yard. All right. Let's have a look at the card overall. If there was a best value play, best lay on the card, Mark Shean, I'll go to you first.
Oh, well, I've got to give Accountability another go. Got a jockey switch here, 2,400 metres. Well, this might have been the plan all the way through.
Could have been.
2,400 7-day backup, down to 53.5. I've got to go to the well one more time. I like it. I think Snowfire, just hoping he doesn't sweat up and is in a decent frame of mind. I think he's a very smart horse. Lay for me is Snitz at the current price, so just shaking my head a little bit with that one.
All right, very good. Mark Rhoden, I was going to ask you about Accountability in the Christmas Cup, but Mark Shean's already beat me to it, and they're going to be following up.
Yep, I'll be chasing my money as well. I'd say he's actually my best bet on the card.
Excellent.
I've got him much shorter than his current price. I think he's clear top pick in that. I'd say Stockman's the only one I think that could give him a race, and it's about his right odds, I think. So definitely will be with accountability. Definitely will be with Snowfire. And just so I don't, doesn't look like I'm totally copying Mark's work, I'll throw in your arrangement as well.
All right, very good. Now, you also wanted to mention something out of race 6, the Fillies and Mares Benchmark 88, which is Talia's the current favourite. You've got 3 Snap Dancer in the market as well.
Yeah, I think Talia's getting in probably short enough now, though it is 280 in places. So I just think it's a really strong 88. That Snap Dancer flew at Ballarat first up. If it can repeat that, it'll give Taylor a hell of a race. I mean, we were talking about how good 3 was first up, being 3 and 4 deep the trip and winning anyway against the pattern. And I was thinking she's going to come out and be 250, whatever she's in next time, and she's $6, and that's probably right. It is a really, really strong race. Intrepidatious, who we were in love with off the trials before Kembla, is $850, with a big weight drop and probably box seat. So it's a really deep race. I haven't actually got anything to tip you in it yet because I think the market is pretty right. But I think a good chance of getting a nice price, a good horse in that if you want to bet in it.
Yeah, I remember watching Snap Dancer Parade in the 1,000 guineas, I think it was from memory. It was just looked like it was ready to peak, and then it trained off visibly to the eye in the next start, which was the Ethereal, I think. So, yeah, it's a horse I've got plenty of time for, but obviously haven't seen it in quite a while. Very good. Now, we'll just quickly touch on Canterbury. We have spoken about, obviously, the track of doom over the last few weeks. Mark Shean, what would you want to see at Canterbury for you to continue or to basically consider betting there tomorrow night?
Just a normal pattern of racing. They're breaking 33 nearly every race, the leaders, to try and get in a position. And some running on from the back now. Well, they have to because the leaders are going mental up front. It's not normal racing. I don't know. I'll have to watch a couple of races there tomorrow night. Just hope it looks a little bit more normal than it has in the past. I don't know how anyone can defend how Canterbury is racing at the moment. It's been bad for a long time, and let's hope it gets better rather than worse.
Exactly right. Mark Rhoden, it's a pretty difficult meeting to go into because do you go into the first 3 or 4 races thinking that it's going to be, I guess, new traditional Canterbury and try and bet accordingly, or do you wait for a few races and then the overcompensation as a result?
It's impossible to know. I mean, horses are ridden out of their pattern. And you don't know which ones they're going to be, like Lancaster Bomber last time or whoever it may be. It's just adds just a further level of guesswork to an already complicated task, and I'm rapidly getting sick of it. I mentioned last time, I think that fall in the last race at the last meeting was caused by 2 horses going too fast and stopping as if shot, and the horses running at the back of them. It's not only hard to win at, it's dangerous. And I mean, I'll be doing the form for it, and I'll be coming up with prices. Might have a bet or two. I had a good day at Wyong today. I'm in no mood to be knocking it off at bloody Canterbury tomorrow night, I can assure you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And yes, very good day from yourself at Wyong. Pretty much just completely destroyed that meeting, which was outstanding. You've obviously got Kembla, Randwick, Hawkesbury on Sunday as well. Yep.
Second week in a row, we've had the full dance card, sort of Tuesday, Wednesday through Sunday. But lighter week next week. I'll be looking for a break after Hawkesbury on Sunday. But yes, so we've still got, even with Canterbury aside, we've still got another 3 meetings to try and sort out.
All right, beautiful. Good luck to you both over the weekend. We'll catch up next week to talk about it. But until then, go well, guys. Part 2 here at the Mailbag preview, and something a little bit different, and to make sure that these 2 fellow gentlemen are still working for the weekend. We're going to preview the Get Out Stakes across Flemington, Eagle Farm and Ascot, just to give something for everybody to roar home, try and find one of those winners to... Well, we're going to be in front, so we're not going to be worrying about trying to get out, so it's really just for everyone else. But Shane, Ciurleo, Jack Dickens, you're both looking very frazzled. You guys want to explain what's been happening?
Shane?
I'll start with me. I've I've been venturing into North Queensland on some pricing and stuff on similar basis of what I do down here, and I found 3 of the first 4 winners at Mackay and only backed the $1.80 chance in the first, and haven't backed the next 2 or 3 winners at like $5 and $6. So I'm a little frazzled. It's also got a little bit to do with the weather up here at the moment. It's hot and muggy, and we're going to get a shitload of rain, and yeah, it's just all falling apart around me.
Collar up, goggles on inside. You are a bit frazzled, eh?
Yeah, future's bright. But apart from that, everything's good. Thanks for asking.
Oh, good. Dickens, you've got Wodonga at the moment, but you've got Flemington on Saturday, and the card looks pretty fat.
Yeah, it's a big day. The way we've sort of rejigged the product slightly, where you're going to get more information and more bets. It's going to be a big couple of days. We've got Moe, Geelong, and then the Valley tomorrow. We'll have prices for everywhere. So if we think it's a bet, we'll be betting. Then we've got Flemington on Saturday, which is really, really exciting because it's we've had Ballarat, we had Pakenham last week, which was a disgrace for a Saturday meeting in Australia's #1 racing jurisdiction. So yeah, keen to get back to Flemington. I think it'll race real fair. Importantly, I think they'll be able to run on. And yeah, we're going to try and blast out here in the last.
Geez, you hate Pakenham, don't you?
No, I don't mind. I don't mind it on a Thursday night. But mate, they were Saturday horses. They were coming home in over 150 metres.
Yeah.
Like it looked like the Wodonga I'm betting on right now. Anyway.
All right.
I don't know why I don't even know why we went Anyway, we're going to the Valley on Friday night, which is going to be good.
Yeah.
First time at the racecourse since before the All-Star Mile. Pikey's third last winner he had in Victoria. And then we've got Flemington on Saturday, and then I'll be betting from New South Wales for the remainder of December.
Speaking of the great man, there is no Pike in the last at Ascot, so I can't wait to preview that race. Mark doesn't know what he's doing at the moment. Alrighty, should we start at Flemington then? The Legends Trophy, and it's a benchmark 78 over 1100. All right, Dickens, what have you found? You were saying you declared one, or you about to declare one?
I could declare one. Firstly, let's have also just for a little bit of a bonus. Let's have a little get out small bet. Valley race 8, number 3, Princeton Spirit. I think it'll get a nice run there along the fence, which I think will be where you want to be tomorrow night. That's a get out stakes at Moonee Valley, and then at Flemington, race 9, number 8, Paul's Regret. I think it's an outstanding price, $5.50. Probably starts a lot shorter. The other horse we're going to be with is number 11, Le Sueur.
Oh.
Going to back Le Sueur and Paul's Regret in the last. Yeah, he's keen. Mate, could you please?
I can't wait till he's old enough and I can stuff and just get him to rag you on air on your own shows.
It's not far off it.
No. He'll have a phone and everything. He'll be like, wait, Das. To ask him about that loser that he had yesterday that got done by. Ask him.
He'll be off to Moe tomorrow or Geelong while we're getting ready for the Valley. Anyway.
It's okay. Let's go to Queensland. Eagle Farm. Girls.
Yeah.
How much points forecast?
It's a bit of a tricky map. Friday we're racing at Doomben Friday. There's a 50% chance of 0 to 3 mils. Doesn't mean a lot because it's stormy. So there's as much chance of getting 30 mils in one place as there is of getting 3 mils at the next postcode. So it's always a concern, the stormy sort of activity. Then on Saturday, we're in fair range of this, 90% chance of any rain, and the possible rainfall is between 8 and 25 mil.
Good.
So once again, it's humid, stormy. If it does rain and if they do get 25 mils, it'll sort of be in an hour or half an hour or so, which is sort of the normal go. And I don't know, it just seems to... We've had a fair few meetings sort of called off with the rain. Once it comes down, that's it. No one wants to ride in it and it just gets too wet. And visibility is terrible. But that's going to be more of a concern later in the day, as usual, at the Queensland weather pattern. So makes taking any early prices a little bit tricky. And we've got a big card Saturday. We're back to the farm the jewel in Queensland racing's crown, if you hadn't already been told.
How do you expect it to race?
Look, I think the track manager who's had taken over from the previous, so the current, has done a lot of good work with this track. The participants seem to think that it's got a lot more cushion than what it did originally, and it's really it's going to race fair. I think that's just a pretty sort of broad observation, I suppose, but has been good growing weather, so you'd expect to have good grass cover and that little bit of cushion, and obviously will depend. We'll see how it goes during the day with the rail position and whether they want to all come down the middle as usual or whatever else. I think you can sort of go into it fair, sort of more concerned with the weather than the track. But it is a big day's racing. We've got a number of 2-year-old races as, some 2-year-olds start to emerge for the Magic Millions, which is a carnival that I'm looking forward to being in the casino for 3 or 4 days straight rather than going to the track. But yeah, some nice 2-year-olds sort of on their way up, and it should be good. A good card. We've got a race 8 here. We've got a race that is called the Gateway. Now it's restricted to 4-year-olds, and basically winner gets ballot exemption from the Group 1 Stradbroke in the Winter Carnival. So a couple of nice horses there in Profit and Frosty Rocks. Look, the two. The horse from North Queensland. I shouldn't have brought it up because I don't want to say its name. Paniagua. So you might have known. Oh, you wouldn't have known. You wouldn't have taken any notice. No one did. It won that Bush Cup final at Eagle Farm last week. It's pissed in, and so they're having a throw at the stumps. It's 11s into 6s. Like, I can't see how it could possibly start single figures. I was struggling to get it double figures. It just looks like a complete 2-horse race with Profit and Frosty Rocks. Probably one other race worth talking about is the Callaway Gal, which is race 6. That's a 2-year-old race. Got a couple of these. One in particular that I think will announce itself, and that is number 1, Fake Love. It's got a bad gate, but I think it might be good. It might be just a very nice horse and pretty slick. I think the locals, they're all around that $6 mark, the locals, and they're all pretty even bunch. I think this Fake Love just might be a little bit better than him. The 13 down the bottom, the Gay Waterhouse Runner Summerbeal. It's 3rd emergency, 2nd emergency now after the 1 scratching. Gee, I hope it doesn't get a run because it's accepted to run it to Toowoomba on Saturday night. And I'm thinking there'd be a good opportunity there because, like, going up the hill fresh and thinking that you can just come up here and win is very tough. Doesn't matter whether it's in football or racing or drinking or whatever it is. It's just tougher up the hill, and I'd love to see it come up here and run. I'd be happy to take it on. But I mean, it's won a trial in Sydney and typical Waterhouse style horse. But I think that Fake Love might be might announce itself here.
You've got Bossy riding Fake Love. Is he just moving up to Queensland short term, is he?
I don't know, really. There was talk, Bossy was in the headlines. Someone wrote an article about him to get a few clicks. He said a few contentious sort of things. Mentioned that he's coming up for the millions and basing himself here. Like, he'll get some plum rides down in the weights over the next 3 or 4 weeks, and particularly leading into Magic Millions Day, and particularly for Waller, I reckon. He's certainly going to be one to follow because he's going to get the good rides. I don't think there's any restrictions on quarantine or anything now, so he's timed his run to perfection, Bossy, as he does, particularly in the big races, and he's done it again. I just think he'll come up here and start winning straight away. I really do. He's got a couple of nice rides Friday. He's going to hit the ground running in Queensland a winner. I've got no doubt.
Now, Curls, this is a Get Out Stakes preview. And you've so far mentioned every other race other than the last. The last, there's a lot of horses backing up from the Spirit of Boom from 2 weeks ago. Are you able to pull that race apart for us?
Geez, it's a tough one to pull apart.
Exactly. That's why I wanted you to have a look at it.
I was kind of a little bit interested in getting in the car and going down the street to back Crone from the better gate this week.
Cool.
And then by the time I found my car keys, it went 15s into 950 on the tab, and so I didn't think I'd bother. And now it's 650, so I shouldn't be so lazy. I think it's a big improver. It was plain first up this prep, just as it was last prep, and then second up last prep. It raced really well. Arguably should have beat Shelwar in a good race in Queensland. The better draw was a big plus here, and come out of that Jonker race, and it's the right form. Accelerates. I think we might have bet against it during Cup Week, didn't we? And it knocked us off somewhere late in the carnival or somewhere. It's obviously here for the Magic Millions as well. It's obviously got some class on it. I think the race sort of falls away pretty quickly after that. Baccarat Baby, DVD, she's got, chance in this. Skate to Paris, I'm not too sure about. And then all the way down the bottom, number 14, Splendor in the Grass, who tearaway leader on resumption and sort of sat back and chased it down late. Wasn't a bad effort. I think it's a negative jockey switch though. So I was going to say Crone originally, but just at that price, I think it's sort of rock bottom now. I think that, I don't know, like at the prices right now, I think sort of Baccarat Baby could be something that firms sort of as we get a bit closer. Crone sort of on its mark at the price, but it's a winning chance, and Accelerates is, probably the class runner. So one of those three will win. I can't definitively find one. So sorry. That's about where I'm at, sort of at the current prices anyway.
All right, that's fine. We'll see if things change between now and the apocalypse forecast, or if it actually eventuates.
If indeed.
Ascot, there is no pike in the last, which automatically means betting is far more entertaining. Mind you, if anyone saw the last of Ascot yesterday, we backed to like a Jaguar, but the better result was Miss Merit. And my goodness, if the horse got any, I don't want to be bagging 4 Kilo Apprentice. I think that's a little bit harsh, and it was his first time riding at Ascot, but it also looked like it. So he's only going to improve from that. But
no, it's not harsh. You're betting your money on it. You can comment on it. You can comment negatively on riders. You're entitled to an opinion.
Yeah, and we got the price. It drifted from, I think, $7.50 out to about $14 we were taking late on the fair. So,
if you want to be immune from criticism, don't be a jockey, or don't go on Twitter, or go on Twitter with an anonymous name. But if you want to it's what comes with the territory.
Yeah,
you're entitled to bag the ride.
That it does.
It looked dangerous, more so than in that.
It was a little bit hairy there, I think, for a few involved. But mind you, it wasn't the only bad ride in the race. There was a couple of shockers there. But
it's Ascot, it's West Australia. It's never going to be the only bad ride in the race, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Jack, Pistol's got to be a bit careful. He'll probably end up drinking with said jockey at the casino Saturday night or something. So he's got to be a little bit careful what he says.
No, I'm at a wedding down south this week, so very little chance of me drinking with jockeys.
Jockey free, is it?
Jockey free.
How'd they get you to go?
Well, they're mostly dentists, so I figure it's worth going to. You need a good dentist, don't you?
I need one.
We won't chat. What am I talking about? Oh, the last Ascot. There's 2 horses. I think
he's lost his train of thought, Curls. We know not to do that. We can't talk about drinking with jockeys. He just starts to drift off. We lose him.
Sure.
And Pistol steers the ship. We need him focused. Back to Get Out Stakes, Ascot, Pistol.
Yeah, there's a couple. They've gone up short enough, but I think they'll both drift just on nature of the map. So we'll be betting a little bit later. But both Melorab and Distant Trilogy. Distant Trilogy goes Andrew Castle to Brad Rawilla, drawn 14, which is really scary, terrifying behaviour. But there is a pretty strong southwesterly forecast on rail 3 metres. Distant Trilogy finished close up behind Resortman first up, which is pretty decent form. Resortman will be going around about even money, probably even odds on Saturday. So that's clearly, I think, those 2 are the play there. But there's a few other horses that have claims if they get the right run and the track's doing the right things. I don't really think that there's a strong leader in the race, which is going to make things a little bit interesting as well. So as a result, I'm looking for horses to settle off speed and attack the line. But as I said, there won't really be any late mail because I'll be probably mid-wedding speech by this point. And I don't think that's necessarily kosher behaviour to be pulling out a phone and roaring one home halfway through a wedding speech. You never know. It might actually happen for one member of the mailbag team here eventually, if it ever happens. That'd be pretty decent. Can you imagine that? Get
Just imagine that. Just imagine there. That's all I'd hear the whole way out. Like, there better not be any betting.
Yeah.
I don't want to see people watching the races. I don't really see.
Reason the wedding will be on a Saturday.
No, won't they?
That's the first mistake.
No, you know when I might get married?
Monday.
Fucking Pakenham Cup Day next year.
Deal. That would be outstanding. All right. Anything else from any of you two? We've got cricket starting this afternoon. Now,
yeah, that's going to be exciting, eh?
Half-run winner. Now, Curl's half-run winner is named. I'm not exactly sure where the name comes from, but the man is a very big Jody Hicks fan, sort of along my sort of way with a couple of jockeys.
Curly's now taken over as our market rate marketing man.
Yeah.
At the mailbag, and explain to the punters what you've sort of done here.
What have I done?
Right.
What I've done? Did you say?
Didn't you come up with a name?
From fine leg to fine leg.
Fine leg to fine leg.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like, you know how like, you know, when you, I'm not sure, it never happened to me because I was gifted, but like, you know, I was a terrible cricketer, terrible cricketer. And like when you can't bat and you can't bowl and you can't field, when you're in the field, when it's your turn to field, the captain just makes you run from fine leg to fine leg because that's the only place they can sort of hide you. So it's fine leg to fine leg's a bit of a derogative term, but you know, I'm hoping that I'm pretty sure that half run winner can do a job for us. The great thing about the cricket, I haven't sort of followed much cricket betting and before I met the half run winner, and like I have been betting a little bit of the stuff that he discusses in various chat groups, and it is so wide and it is so sick that it's like,
right up your alley.
You can't watch sport without betting on it, right? It's a waste of time. Like it's like cricket's not even a sport, right? It's just one bloke with a bat and a bloke throws balls at him and he hits, see how far he can hit them. It's not a sport until you start betting on it. When you start sweating on how many sixes Joe Blow hits in the first 10 overs, how long it takes him to score 20 runs, all these different player props and different markets. You click on like the Toppy website, there's 251 markets for a BBL game. It's so sick and it's so good. It makes it worth watching. So you have to bet it.
All right. Well, the futures bet's already out. Looking forward to the first bets coming out probably in an hour or so. So by the time this goes to air, I think we'll already be mid Big Bash debut and riding some home. Dickens is riding
That was
home.
plain. That was very, very plain at Wodonga.
It continues.
Benchmark 60 or something, and they can't even corner. Anyway.
What a sport, as they say.
Exactly. All right, guys. Thanks very much. Go well to you two. I won't be in touch with you over the weekend, so
Oh, pray for us.
Good luck to you.
Pray for us.
Yeah.
I thought Ciurleo might win race 6 too at Flemington.
Okay. Just throwing out more bets. We just wanted one, but that's okay. Go well, guys.
Thank you, Peter.
Yes, thanks.